It's still my birthday, bitches. Only for another, 9 or 10 minutes or so.
But you're still technically correct. The best kind of correct.
9 minutes.
Are you going to count down every time a minute passes?
No. It was a good one. Had an amazing dinner at Copper Dock. Went in... Well... We left about an hour and a half later than we had originally intended to.
Yeah.
Because I had to take Briley to the doctor. Because her eye is all messed up. And
Payback's a bitch.
They couldn't get us in until 4:30, which was when we were hoping to
originally leave.
Yeah. But it's fine. We were home 5 minutes to 10.
And we had told Leah's mom that we would try to be back by 10.
Mm-hmm. So it was good. Dinner was amazing. Ran into another Aquinas family there. That was weird. Excellent service. So when we got there, we were originally told a 2-hour wait at 6:30. But we actually were seated after an hour and 45 minutes. An hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And only one beer. Literally, you went and got our 7 and 7, and
then they seated us. Yeah. We had a sip only so it would make transporting our very full drinks easier.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we nursed our beers for sure, but...
And I'm glad we did.
Yeah, me too, because, I'm cogent at the moment.
Yeah, really good dinner, and he dropped to the waitress that it was my birthday. Got super full, and then from food, but ordered a old-fashioned, and our waitress, she was so good. She knew. She didn't try to upsell us on dessert. We ordered the old-fashions, and she brought them out to us, and brought a plate that had happy birthday written on it, and some kind of a berry syrup, which was really good. I tasted it. And a little dab of whipped cream with a candle, and it was really cute, because it's I know that your dessert is your old-fashioned, so here you go. And
yeah.
Joe and the waitress saying happy birthday to me was really sweet.
She was really good. There was some confusion with the sides on my order. I had thought it came with potato pancakes. She may have said it did, or we thought she said that didn't matter. But they brought my food, and I was like, "Oh, was this going to come with potato pancakes?" She was like, "No, it's an option, but it doesn't come automatically. Just did you want some?" I was like, "No, it's fine." She goes, "I'll bring you some." And they tasted like donuts. It was delicious.
I still think that when she was giving us the spiel, I think she did say potato pancakes and a side. And I think that's why she was like, "No, I'll bring you some potato pancakes." Because I think that she realized that, ooh, I may have said that wrong.
Still a mark of a good waitress, because, if you offer something, you follow through on it, even if she, because she could have just gone, "Oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke."
Yeah, and we've been like, "Oh, okay, no, that's cool, that's fine."
Yeah.
We also ordered bruschetta for appetizer. And
gigantic.
They were 4 of them. We each had one, and I wanted more, but I'm like, no, because I gotta save them for dinner. But I didn't, because bruschetta, it gets all juicy and leaks into the bread, and I didn't want to have soggy bread, so we scraped the bruschetta, or the tomato part off of it, and I was like, when she came in, "Oh, you want me to box this up?" And I said, "Yes." I only scraped it off because I didn't want the bread to get too soggy. She's like, "Do you want me to put it in separate boxes?" I'm like, no, that's fine. And she's like, "I'll put it in separate boxes." Oh, okay.
I think they definitely changed something about, I don't know if they changed chefs or what, but I know the first time we got bruschetta, first time we went to Copper Dock, it was not like that.
No. And they don't do béarnaise sauce anymore. I know that they used to do béarnaise sauce. And it's fine. I didn't end up getting a steak.
You'll get béarnaise in 2 days. Bernie's in 2 days.
When I, because that's the great thing about my birthday with my family is, unless the birthday falls on a Sunday, you get 2 birthdays. So I still have my Sunday birthday with my cake and presents. You didn't give me a present yet.
I know.
You usually do. You usually try to give me something. I'm not complaining, by the way. I just, realized, It's fine. Oh, okay. Anyway, that's our story. Totally unnecessary, but...
These have turned into a combination of our assessments of shows and, our daily vlogs.
Ew, are we those kind of people now? Okay.
Yeah.
So, we got Loki, Season 1, Episode 3 tonight. The name of the episode is Lamentis. I want to go into this saying that I had seen a headline. I was like, Loki has come out as, queer and, positive feedback, whatever. And the director is Kate O'Haron or whatever she was. She was like, my heart feels so full. First of all, if you didn't at least suspect that Loki was bi, that's on you. His mannerisms and everything, it's of course, but...
I still say asexual, but...
We'll get there. But all I'll say is it's kind of a blink and you miss it thing. You gotta be listening really closely. But it's whatever. I don't care.
We have to impose current day thoughts on sexuality to, mythical comic book characters. It's very important.
Yeah. Anywho, so previously on, Variant is killing agents, timekeepers are monitoring the case, Lady Loki isn't interested in interrupting the timekeepers. They go through a portal, leaving Mobius behind. Now, funky music. A couple of ladies out to dinner having drinks. One of them is our Loki lady. The other one is the...
C20, which yeah,
okay. Weird explanation of brain freeze. Lady Loki asks her friend how many people are guarding the timekeepers. Turns out this is all a fantasy that Lady Loki implanted in C20's brain to ascertain the location of the timekeepers. Post-credits, Lady Loki portals into the TVA. She beats up / disintegrates a bunch of Minutemen. Loki follows through the portal, armed with his trusty daggers. Trademark. Because he saw the lockers, and all of a sudden he's got his daggers. He tells her, I thought maybe we'd work together, but now I see you lack vision. Reference?
Couldn't help but wonder. Because even you connected Lady Loki to Wanda in this episode.
I did.
So
I did, yes, that's right. We'll get there.
She's an enchantress. You lack vision. I don't know. There's something
Ooh.
there.
Oh. Wonder if New Rockstars will have anything to say about that. So the judge shows up to break up their fight, and they portal away. The place that they're portaled to, they scuffle for the time portal jumpy thing. Turns out they're on Lamentis 1 in 2077. It's a moon about to be destroyed. So basically it's an apocalyptic event that she had preset, and she said it's the most dangerous of all of them.
Because, these things can be measured.
She saves him from a meteor to protect the jumper thing from being blown up. The Tempak.
Temp pad.
Tempat.
I'll figure that out pretty soon in my notes, I think.
Okay. They take refuge in a bunker.
I noted that she saved him from one. I was like, the hell? Did she just... She was like, look out! And dragged him out of the way.
Because he's got the thing.
It's because he's got the thing. He's hiding it in his heart, he tells her.
So they take refuge in a bunker. She tries to mind control him, and it doesn't work.
We'll get a little bit of an explanation later, but...
Yeah.
She's...
I'm still confused as to how she's a variant. I'm not going to lie. Based on their conversations, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it seems like her variance was her, never even being adopted by Odin and his wife. That's what fucked up the timeline in that scenario. Because she has, very vague memories of her mother. She was adopted, though. She did say she was... Okay, so it was after that. But only has vague flashes. Mm-hmm. So something happened very early on in that timeline.
Yeah.
That got messed up.
Yeah. Tempad, that's the name of the jumper thing. They make a shaky truce until they can escape the moon. The temp needs a recharge. They say they'll kill...
Each other?
They say they'll kill back when they get back to the TVA.
Kill each other. I don't know what happened there.
The plan is to go to a town. She says her name is Sylvie now because she's not Loki anymore. So that's numero uno. New rock stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the town is abandoned. They have 12 hours to total destruction. The temp pad requires a massive power source to charge. They find a house and attempt to go in. Sylvie breaks the door in and gets blasted to shit by some woman, who, by the way, looked really familiar. Mm. Loki tried disguising himself and approaching, and gets blasted to shit.
Yeah, this woman is not having it.
She tells them, though, that everyone else is at the Ark. Sylvie says an Ark could have enough power to charge the temp pad, so they go to the train station to try to get it.
So basically this society knows that their world is about to be destroyed, and they, typical apocalypse movie kind of style, they created a giant spaceship to blast select members of society off the planet. Everyone's trying to get on it. Blah,
and of course, it's all the rich and elite that are getting on it.
Yeah.
Fascism. Or something.
Fascism. Wonderful.
There's a line of people trying to get onto the train. Sylvie wants to try to find a way into the train. Loki disguises himself as one of the train guards and leads her aboard. But they still are requiring tickets, so she Jedi mind tricks a guard to allow them to move along. She does the thing. This is how I would do it.
It was like that, yeah. No, it was very Star Wars.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
You don't need to check their identification. Move along. Yeah. It was so close as to be a nod, I think.
Yeah. So they get on this train, which the train itself isn't the Ark, it's a train to the Ark.
Right.
They sit at a table.
On the train.
Sylvie rips into Loki. She said that wasn't a plan. Dressing as a guard and getting on a train is just doing a thing. They discuss Loki's mother. Sylvie says they told her she was adopted, but they never told Loki. Loki's mom taught him his magic. Loki asks where she learned to mind control, and she says that she taught herself. Loki takes champagne. Sylvie refuses, so Loki takes hers. They start discussing love.
Yeah.
He asks her if she has a bow. And She says that she does. She says it's a postman.
A postman. At first I thought she was being sarcastic.
Yeah.
But then it seems that she's not. She's like, it's something to do while I'm...
It's something to...
Keep me
motivated.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was interesting.
I'm sure New Rockstars will tell us who it is.
She ends up saying, love is hate. Oh, and Loki asks if she's seeing someone. She says that she's dating a postman. She asks if he's seeing any princess or princes, and he says a bit of both. That's it. And again, well, first of all, like I said, if you didn't get that from his mannerisms, I mean, that's on you. Like, don't make this into this whole big thing. And everyone's saying, like, oh, you know, for finally an openly out Marvel character. And it's like, Valkyrie? And don't tell me that Captain Marvel and... Because she most definitely is. Most definitely is. But whatever. But yeah, so that's it. That was the whole thing. And I will say again, because I told you before we started recording, you say you see him as more asexual, and it's like, I mean, he's way too involved with himself to ever, like, really actually
care for someone. As we discussed at dinner, well, of course he's bi. He only loves himself, and he's a guy. So there you go. No, he's just...
And honestly, like, with stuff like this, I don't really care, because it's all fiction. Just like everything they try to tell us about transgenderism and gender fluidity and homosexual relationships being legitimate, it's all fiction.
Yeah, of course they're excited about a complete fantasy show adopting their point of view, because, hey, their worldview is all fantasy.
And I don't say that to be mean. It's just,
I do.
It's fact. But at the end of the day, we have to approach it with charity.
We have to approach people with charity.
Well, yes, people.
I feel
but ultimately,
that the movement has transcended individuals.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's a lot of individual people who buy into everything that movement tries to claim. They're just grabbing at everything they think can be countercultural and against nature and adopt it as part of their web.
And they are the cause of toxic masculinity.
Oh yeah, I'm way more toxic masculine now that all this bullshit is in the world.
Well, no, and it's like what we talked about before. It's like, you cannot have two men say I love you to each other without it having a homoerotic overtone. So, no matter how woke straight guys are, at the end of the day, that's something they're going to be fighting back against. So they can't comfortably, openly say to another man, I love you.
Yeah. Because the movement wants to establish that nobody is fully straight. All people are just people, so...
All people are a little bit gay.
Right.
At least.
So, you can't just have a best friend that you love as a best friend, because it can always lead to more. it's gonna eat its own tail. Straight woke guys are gonna realize that they can't be straight. Straight is going to become a bad term before long.
Anyway, but at the end of the day, like what the show put out there about Loki, it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it could have just been Loki bullshitting anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I believe him, but it was such a... Again, it was a blink and you miss it.
I'm sitting there going, I'm sure he's probably tried to seduce both men and women to gain power. That's just who he is. He's in love with power. He's not in love with men/women and everything in between. He's in love with power and himself.
Princes and princesses, I mean...
But hey, woke movement, you go keep championing the god of mischief. Good for you. You got him. You've got your hero.
Whatever. It is what it is, and at the end of the day...
I enjoy being glib about it. A lot.
So, anywho... Ooh, hi.
Hi.
So Sylvie shoots back with, love is mischief, no? Loki says, no. And she asks him what he thinks love is, and he's like, he basically says, oh, I haven't had enough to drink for that. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. That's not my birthday anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it happens.
Once a year or so.
You only get 24 hours. It's fine.
Unless, we're a part of your family, in which case you get 48.
Or so. At any rate, Sylvie ends up falling asleep. Loki gets drunk and parties. Sylvie is concerned he dropped his uniform. Loki sings, and it's like obviously Norse, but there's some Irishness to it. And he's singing in a different language. Asgardian, probably. But the way he was singing to her was interesting. It was like he was trying to tell her something.
Yeah, the song takes on a point where it becomes a very somber tone, and he has a very... I don't know. It goes from like an Irish jig to a very heartfelt part.
Kind of like the song that Pippin sings in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it is very like that.
Kind of that
yeah, I can't think of the word.
Yeah, right? But it's really interesting because, like, I didn't get, like, a romantic vibe from it, which would be weird because if she's a variant of him...
What have I been saying? Only loves himself.
Exactly.
What's up, female me? Boing.
But there is a certain kind of romantic aspect to it, the way he's singing to her and the way she looks back at him. But my predominant thought was, he's trying to tell her something. Because it's in a different language, it's not transcribed. Nobody else around him knows what he's saying. But it's like, if you and I are actually the same, you should be able to know what I'm telling you. So it's like,
oh, interesting.
It seemed like he was giving her a message.
And the way she was looking at him, maybe she understood what he was saying, but we, the audience, don't know.
Yeah, and I have no idea.
That's interesting.
I have no idea what it could be. But...
I mean, maybe he read something in the file that she doesn't know. Because... obviously he wants to get to the timekeepers, but ever since he found out that this variant was him, I think he's kind of wanted to not get them killed, which the TVA is trying to do. So he is playing both sides. I think he does have some loyalty to at least Mobius.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't want Sylvie dead.
Right. You said it's some kind of river song. No, not Doctor Who. Which is funny because Karen Gillan was River Song's mom in Doctor Who, and she was Nebula in the Marvel Universe. Anyway. And then, nice little Easter egg. He smashes his glass and says, "Another!"
Another!
From the first Thor.
Yup. It's what Asgardians do.
And I low-key loved it. Ah!
Their glass budget must be so high. That's why you have silver goblets.
So then Loki's like, all right, I figured out what love is. Love is a dagger. It's a weapon to be wielded far away or up close. You see yourself in it. It's beautiful until it makes you bleed. But when you reach for it, it disappears. She's like, that's a terrible metaphor.
He's like, really? He was really proud of that.
And then, of course, the guards show up, asks for their tickets, and a fight ensues, and it is a really awesome fight. I really enjoyed that fight scene.
I was typing away a lot.
I know. It was very cool.
I was really impressed with the last fight scene. I don't know if you noticed what it was, but, well, I mentioned it.
Oh. Okay. So Loki gets tossed out a window. Sylvie follows because the temp pad broke when he fell.
Whoops.
So they argue that they're both hedonistic, but she says it's not to the point of losing focus. She has a little freak out and sits down. And that's when I said she screams and shoots green out of her hands. And to me, that was very Scarlet Witch. That, oh! Shut up.
That's a very operatic scream.
Oh! Like when, Wanda, realizes that her brother died, and it was that. So when Sylvie did that, I got a lot of
There's a
Scarlet Witch vibes.
A lot of similarities.
Again, can't wait to see what New Rockstar says with their inside knowledge. So she sits down, and I was trying to remember, because in the trailers, we saw someone from the back, a female with short hair, kind of a purplish scene, and he's walking towards her, and I was trying to remember if that's what we actually saw there in that scene, if that was from the trailer, when we thought, oh my gosh, that's
Black Widow. I don't think it was that scene. I might be wrong.
We might have to go back and watch the trailer again.
Okay.
So anyway, he sits down next to her. They talk. So now what? Loki says they should hijack the Ark and get off the planet that way. In the normal timeline, the Ark gets destroyed. But Loki says, but in the original timeline, we weren't on the Ark.
Right. There are variants. Timeline is bunk. Pardon me.
So they start walking. Loki complains he's never walked this much in his life, and invites her to enchant him so she can walk for him. He asks her how enchantment works. She says you got to make physical contact and then take control of their mind. If it's a strong mind, she has to create a fantasy to make them compliant, which informs the opening scene that we saw with the minute one.
Yes, it very much reminded me, and I know a lot of shows have played on that trope, but it called to mind Futurama, Absolutely Fabulous. Bender needs an upgrade to make him compatible with these new X1 robots. And so when he goes to get his upgrade...
Right. He's given a fantasy.
He's given a fantasy. Like, as soon as they start uploading, he's like, I changed my mind. He pushes it away. And he goes on this grandiose adventure wherein the X1 robot ends up saving his life. And he's like, thank you. You know what? The X1 robot is my friend. These are great units. And then it all fades away, and he's been receiving the upgrade the whole time. So, this is a very similar thing where in order to convince someone of something, you create an entire memory that leads them in a more natural way to believe this.
Right.
Really interesting.
And then she reveals that everyone that works at the TVA... Well, because she had said that C20. C20. She's like, yeah, I fed her images from a memory, or from memories from, what, 40 years ago?
I thought it was more than that.
100 years ago? Something like that. And Loki's like, wait, what? And she is like, yeah, she really liked margaritas. And he's like, what are you saying? So he's like,
yeah, I had to pull a memory from before she was at the TVA.
He's like,
there was a before?
No, he's like, there was a before. The timekeepers created the TVA workers. She says, no.
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. They're all variants.
Mm-hmm.
New Rockstars called it.
Yep.
And I actually clapped at that point. So, big reveal for this episode.
Yes.
Not that everyone that works at the TVA are variants. They're not created at the TVA, as Loki was told. Which, and it wasn't like Mobius lied to him.
Mm-mm.
That was his reality.
So
that actually opens up a lot for Sylvie.
Why is that?
Well, she had called them those fascists you work for.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't work for them, I'm a consultant. She's a variant who is not working for the TVA. She's a Loki variant, somehow. How does that work? There's something there that I can't quite verbalize. I don't really have a grasp on it, but...
The fact that the TVA is making an army out of the very people they're trying to oppress. It's a bit Nazi-ish, in a way.
So they approach the Ark and agree that they trust each other. Sylvie says, good, because this is going to suck. There's mass panic at the Ark. The meteors intensify. Weird moment when a meteor strikes near them and Loki is temporarily stunned. Then he gets up and is fine. Joe, Suspicious that maybe she took his mind in that moment. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird that they're running along, and a meteor falls in front of them. They get blasted, and the whole screen goes smoky. And it's kind of...
And that, like, and then the voice from far away.
Uh-huh. And I'm curious, again, keep saying it, new rock stars will probably tell us what that voice is saying. But then he kind of shakes it off and gets up and grabs Sylvie. You okay? All right, let's keep going. And it's kind of like, what was the point of that? And I have a theory that I'll get to in a couple of lines here.
They fight some guards. Nice cinematography in the escape. Long takes. Joe. Maybe that's why the weird meteor hit. Seriously, that was all one take.
The entire scene at the Ark was one long take. As I was watching, I started to go, they're not cutting at all. It's all pans and turns. So I think that little meteor strike where the screen goes smoky, that was just their way of putting in a cut so that they could keep one long take.
Okay.
If we go back, it's seriously like a full minute of no cuts. It's really impressive.
And this will lead into the next little note here. During this cut, you see all these, like, neon signs. They're all in a different language, like an alien language.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of Asian...
Looking script.
Yeah. But everyone speaks English.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's really anything there, but
this seems like the sort of show that wouldn't shy away from
subtitles.
using subtitles or going, I'll cast a spell to, make it so that we're all speaking the same language.
Which, and they did it really subtly with Guardians of the Galaxy and Quill being able to understand everyone, and the fact that, like, it's been, I don't know that it's ever been confirmed, but there's a theory out there that the reason why he constantly kind of speaks so childishly is due to the fact that when he was abducted, he was a preteen child and didn't have an adult vocabulary, and his translator can only do up to what he knows.
Ah, okay.
You never heard that?
Maybe I did. I don't know.
So, but there is a precedent in the Marvel Universe for confirmed or not, I don't know, but there's this sort of precedent that
they explain why everybody can communicate.
yes.
But they didn't in this show.
So the final the scene, he says the find ends.
Say the whole sentence.
The find ends with the Ark being destroyed. The final scene ends?
Scene, probably.
Final scene ends with the Ark being destroyed. Loki and Sylvie walk away with a sigh. End credits with an old-timey song about love called, there's something about breaking a dark moon.
Yeah.
So.
Which, was the whole episode. Love and a dark moon breaking. So.
Oh. Well. Yeah, I'm very much enjoying this. It's good. It's good entertainment. Great fight scenes. Great choreography. Great cinematography. I love the character building. Because, like, I'm all for Sylvie now. I don't know what her motivations are, but she doesn't really seem villainous to me.
No.
Of course, that'll probably come back and bite me in the ass, but you know.
But she's fun to have on screen, and their interactions are...
They have great chemistry.
Great chemistry. I was surprised at how quickly they established a really good chemistry.
Yeah, yeah. Tom Hiddleston is a delight, as always.
Always. Still don't know where the show's leading.
No. Yeah.
Are we going to go back to a base on TVA where Loki goes through, like, quantum leap type missions? But it doesn't seem like it at this point. These shows have had a tendency to commit to their genre shifts.
And we still don't know what Sylvie's intentions are with the timekeepers.
No.
Like, we don't... She wants to get to them.
Mm-hmm. And Loki kind of does too.
To destroy them? To talk to them?
To steal something? We have no idea.
Beg to be put back into her original place. Like, we have no idea.
Yeah.
Or at least we don't. I mean, I'm sure new rock stars will set us straight, but...
You just start setting up a new rock star's name drop counter on our videos.
Right. Ding, ding. So, but yeah, I love the intrigue. I love the very subtle WandaVision drops.
Yeah.
You know, Vision, the way Sylvie kind of has a very Wanda sort of...
The comparisons are impossible to ignore between Sylvie and Wanda. So, her saying she was self-taught versus Wanda's origin.
Yeah, Wanda essentially being self-taught.
Mm-hmm. And physical touch.
And
Wanda doesn't have to touch, but she gets to get close.
And the...
And the colors, and there's so much there.
It's green versus red, but there's...
I definitely think the you lack vision line was not accidental.
Darcy was introduced in Thor, which is when we got introduced to Loki. And she was in WandaVision, which was weird.
That was a weird inclusion.
Yeah.
That's not an accident. Oh, wow. Good call. Huh. I mean, obviously it was all reads the same universe, but that is a very direct link between these two characters.
And it almost makes you wonder why they included Jimmy Woo.
Yeah.
Quantum Realm, Ant-Man, they're leading somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So, much like all of these movies were building to one big single world crossover in Avengers Infinity War, maybe these shows are leading up to a series crossover of all these characters. You know what I mean? Falcon and Winter Soldier doesn't fit in yet, but... Yet.
But, I mean, remember, at the end of Endgame, at Tony's funeral, who was standing together? Bucky, Sam, and Wanda.
Yep.
And I think Wanda and Sam had a conversation. They're
leading somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know where, and I'm loving it.
I'm loving it. It's fun. It's good storytelling.
I'm kind of proud of myself that I made that connection.
That was perfect. That was a great observation.
So, yeah, we'll see where this goes.
All right. Shall we do rock stars?
Probably.
Probably. All right.